Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurship Unboxed, your front row seat to the stories, struggles, and secrets behind today's most innovative startups, entrepreneurs, and investors. I'm your host, AJ. Today, we have an exceptional guest who embodies perseverance, success, and innovation. Carolina Fabara, a distinguished legal professional, joins us to share her journey and insights into connecting Latin American and Asian businesses through law, technology, and innovation. Carolina, welcome to the show. Your background is incredibly impressive. From earning your law degree in Ecuador to pursuing doctoral studies in China and working as a legal consultant, you've had quite a journey. Can you share more about your path and what led you to connect businesses across Latin America and Asia?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me here and for create this space for entrepreneurs as well. First, I study my master degree in China and nowadays my PhD. And I think from like my law perspective, because I study law in Ecuador and I have been working in business law in the major part of my career, I think China is a good partner to do business with Latin America and Africa as well. So I think the important thing about China is not only understand the legal part, but also the culture of business. So since I have already my experience as a business lawyer, I decided also to study Chinese as a language and also get involved in the Chinese business culture, which is important to bring these two continents as well to deal with business.
Let's dive into the unique challenges and opportunities Latin American entrepreneurs face when expanding into the Asian market, particularly China. What are some common legal and regulatory hurdles your clients encounter, and how have you helped them overcome these obstacles?
I have been helping some people and also companies in Latin America, in Mexico, in Peru, in Colombia, because I think the big issue is like normally the people who do business with China will be all the time related with the business background. So they will know like the technical part of the business, which products are good, the quality of the products maybe, but I identified two things. That is, first, the language barrier. So I think it's important to have a legal contract, to sign a contract, and in it can be in Spanish or English as well, and Chinese. So both parts will understand what will be their rights and obligations as well. I think this is the most important thing, because most of my clients, what they do is they buy the things. It can be different things they are buying from China. Since China is the fabric of the world, they are buying, example, cars. They are buying fans. So I think the most important thing with China is to have the legal contract, and in the legal contract mention what it will be. I don't know, for example, your guarantee, what um, where the goods will be found, and all the things where they will be produced as well. So I think this is the important part of doing business with China, how I am helping entrepreneurs in Latin America to come to China, and as well Chinese companies to go to Ecuador, because I think it's also important for Chinese companies to understand the legal part of Ecuador, for example. So I identified this the big thing to help both to understand each other, to create understanding in the legal part, in the legal process, because most of the time the people just think, oh, I find this product very cheap, or maybe with good quality, and I can do a great business, but they don't focus the things in what will happen next is if I don't do a good due diligence, if I don't have a good contract. So for all the entrepreneurs, I think it's very important that have in mind or have in consideration this legal part of the business with China. Since you are investing money, most of the time, I think entrepreneurs will say, "Oh, but I'm just investing 3,000." It doesn't matter. I think the important part is to have clear what you are buying and what you can ask for if in the future you will have any controversy.
Absolutely, navigating complex legal frameworks across different continents can be incredibly challenging. I'm sure the strategies you employ not only help profile entrepreneurs from Latin America, but also assist businesses in China, facilitating smoother collaborations between the two regions. Could you share more about how you support these entrepreneurs in successfully navigating these legal and regulatory landscapes?
Yeah, I think it's important and also depends on each company and what the goods are, what are the products, because each company will need a specific contract, and also each transaction, like the contract cannot be the same, because of course the business will need some things that the other the other contract don't have it. So I think it's important to have this to be secure by doing your contract. And also I think it's important before like you do the business, and also have a person that help you to like do this kind of inspection to know that if the fabric exists, if the product exists. Like, I think this due diligence, I will say, in the legal world is very important, and that doesn't matter if you are a big company or a small company. I think this thing of the legal part, legal process, and doing all the things to have legal protection that most of the time I think entrepreneurs try to avoid. I think is the most important thing for the future, because sometimes we say, "Oh, I think a lawyer will be so expensive," or "I don't need to have a lawyer because I'm just starting." I think having a lawyer for an entrepreneur will be the best like option and best partner to work with, because you can have this idea of to avoid maybe taxes, or to avoid any fine in the future if you have and follow a legal path.
You have lived and worked in both Latin America and Asia. How have you navigated the cultural differences when facilitating business collaborations between these regions? What strategies have you found most effective?
I think the most important thing is knowledge, I will say, and experience. Because I have been working as a lawyer. I'm a lawyer in Ecuador, and I know the law there, and I have practiced law for many years, and I understand the legal part of Ecuador and how to do business there, and how to protect my clients as well for the business part, even register a company, intellectual property rights, labor contracts, visa, and all the immigration part. But I also think, since I'm doing my master in China in law as well, and my PhD in China, and my focus, of course, in my research is foreign companies coming to China. I think I have learned about both laws, like what laws can you use, what is the contract law in China, what we should do, and about the regulations as well. That is very important. But also I know the law in Ecuador, so I think this is the most important thing to bring these two cultures and two continents together to have a great understanding and a good business. Also, I believe the language barrier is very important, because once you understand the culture but also the language, then you can have a good understanding and help Ecuadorian business and also Chinese business to do a great contract and a great deal because I think even mothers in China, for example, how you will give your car, how you will present, which platforms Chinese companies use to sell the things, where to find, how to contact them, and how they work. Most of the time, for example, they will know that you know about their business if you give the card of presentation with both hands. So that means, and I have been working in teaching some clients in Ecuador, for example, how they should like be in a meeting, for example, where they should sit with where the people or the boss in China will sit, because of course our culture is different. In Latin America, maybe we don't have these round tables, but in China they have. And it's important to know where the Laoban in Chinese is boss, so where the Laoban will sit, and also where you should sit, and how you should talk and present yourself and also your company, so you will have a better understanding in the future and how they will engage with your company, because maybe in Latin America will be different, but in China, most of the big business will be closed, not in an office. I think it's interesting to know that most of the big business in China are closed in a dinner, a business dinner. So I think it's important for Latin America, yeah, and also for Africa and all of us to understand what, the Chinese culture and Chinese business as well culture, to have a great deal.
You're absolutely right, Carolina. I hadn't considered it from that perspective before. Understanding the culture of the person or business you're engaging with can indeed give you an upper hand. As you mentioned, every country has its own cultural differences, and knowing them can be crucial when doing business, especially in joint ventures across continents. Cultural nuances, like the meeting etiquette you mentioned in Chinese companies, knowing where to sit and how to approach conversations are essential for successful collaborations. You mentioned your interest in technologies like China's smart courts and mini programs. Can you share insights on innovative approaches or digital tools that Latin American entrepreneurs use to bridge the gap with their Asian counterparts?
I think it is very important this tool like smart courts, which means internet courts, and in China,
Mm-hmm.
basic they implement this like 2017, the first one in Hangzhou, where is the home of Alibaba, of the big company of China. So they have been implementing these three. Now they have three courts, like in Hangzhou, in Guangzhou, and in Beijing as well. So basically, these smart courts is like 24 uh, hours, 7 days. So basically, you can it works, for example, for e-commerce. So basically, you can suit, example, if you have a problem with a Chinese company, you don't need to come to China and travel all the way from Africa or Latin America to suit someone. Uh, they have 11 case like type of things that you can choose to suit someone in online core, but one of is e-commerce, which is the most used for foreign companies and foreign people as well. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you can get this mini program in China, like it's the mini core program. So you can register in this mini core program and suit someone online, and also you can get your like response and follow this process online, everything online. You don't need to come to China to suit someone. Of course, this is very new, so of course has challenges and opportunities for foreigners. but I think is in the future will be very useful because also technology is a big important thing in China where they have a lot of attention, and nowadays these smart courts or internet courts are using AI, which means they are using robots to so for example you shoot someone and maybe a robot, AI, will get all this information and it will process faster, not only for foreigners, but for all the internet smart course users. So I think these are getting the judicial system faster and are reducing a lot of like this civil process, which is very long normally. In China, it's taking less time because of the use of technology, and nowadays, of course, they are getting new provisions and new regulations of how foreign business can use this mini course program. Of course, the system is in Chinese, but you can translate the things and suit online, and in it doesn't matter the time difference and everything because you for sure will have a AI robot that will like get your suit. Of course, it's not using AI for the final decision, but I think it's an interesting topic that I'm writing papers about that of how are the data privacy will work and how it will work for foreign companies and how the regulations are going to be matching for foreign companies and how the I don't know the legal representative of a company will have to like register on the system as like the legal person of a company and not just a single user, like a natural person user. So I think it's interesting and it's new as well. And I think will reduce the time and also the cost for many, many companies that are dealing with e-commerce. And also it doesn't matter the amount of money that you are going to suit. So I think these are working for the justice and making more easy and more accessible for all of us to use the judicial system in China. And I think it's very important to know this, and that more foreign companies know this system when they are using e-commerce in China and deal with small transactions or big transactions, doesn't matter, but to know that they can sue the company if something go wrong. I think it's very important to have this tool and this mini program that nowadays exists and is also with a lot of regulations for foreign companies that is very useful and a key tool to give more more companies, I think, will be more safe to do business with China. If they know if something go wrong, they can use the judicial system online by using the technology. Because also, if you sue someone like in China, you can all your documents and all the proofs about this judicial process you will use blockchain technology as well. So I think it's very interesting.
Indeed, that's very interesting. Technologies such as smart courts streamline legal processes, and digital tools like mini programs enhance business operations. These innovations definitely help entrepreneurs overcome logistical challenges and improve efficiency in cross border activities. It's really impressive. Out of curiosity, how long is the latency of these processes? For example, if you want to sue a company, how long does it typically take to get a response?
Example, you need to get first the mini program, like register first as a user, and then you can uh, put your suit, and then it reply probably like maximum in 3 days. I don't remember the exact time of how many suits reduce has this e-commerce, but is is like a big number of people are using nowadays this system, because of course now, before you have to wait long time to get this process done, but by using AI, the robots and all this system, like in 3 days maximum you will have a reply. And that doesn't matter where you are located, the time, and you can do it yourself. You don't need to pay like a lawyer. Like, of course, maybe you will need for this, like to have this legal knowledge, but you can create this, the user yourself, and do your registration, and then say what is your problem, and then you will have this judicial process. I think is very important and interesting for all the entrepreneurs and big companies as well to have this option.
Definitely, it's very impressive. I hope to see these innovative technologies adopted globally to make the judiciary system more efficient and accessible. Your language skills are remarkable. How have they played a crucial role in connecting Latin American and Asian businesses? Can you share a specific example?
I think since in Latin America we speak Spanish, my native language is Spanish, and of course, doing business in China, some of the people and fabrics will speak a bit of English as well. But I think to learn Chinese is very important. So um, to to help the people that speak Spanish, because of course most of the people speak English. But what happened in Latin America? Many people cannot understand English, and if they come to China, they really need someone to learn what are the issues
They're
the
supposed
problem.
to hire a translator.
They hire interpreters actually, but the thing is, like, I think what where I see my plus is the low part, because of course the interpreter will tell you what the Chinese fabric is saying, what the other part is saying, but they won't tell you which will be the best legal strategy. Like, if you come to China, for example, to this a big expo, Canton Fair Expo, which Canton Fair is in Guangzhou, for example. Many people from Latin America comes in these big tours that they do to come for 10 days to do business with China. But I think the big plus, my big plus, is to know the legal part, because an interpreter will translate all the from both language, but they won't tell you which will be
Yeah,
how
you're right.
the guarantee, what you should put if you are buying these products, because there's a lot of cases that can happen, and I think to protect the legal part, and many people come to do big business with China, like they want to bring big machines, for example, for plastic, but they need to know, like, the guarantee, how many time they will have for these machines guarantee. And sometimes they in China, to be honest, it's very informal the way to do business. So they will send you like a fapiao, which is like the amount of money that you have to pay, but they never send you a contract. So I think this is the big plus. Like, for example, if you want, you come to Canton Fair, right, to buy big machines, or to buy cars, that nowadays is very famous to buy cars in China and bring to Latin America. But most of the time, the important thing in China is this informal part of the business. Like, in Chinese is called minsa, which means face, and that's the also come a part of the culture, that is trust. But I think it's very important, even is you can trust the trust your partner. You need to know, like for example, if your goods are going to be sent to Latin America, how many years you will have guarantee of these goods. If you get the goods but you are not okay with them, if you have to pay the deposit or the other party will have to pay. So I think this is very important at the moment to deal with business, and I think this legal approach, cannot do a interpreter. It has to do by
Definitely.
a lawyer, an international lawyer.
You are
You're absolutely right, Carolina. Language skills are essential for effective communication and negotiation. As an international lawyer, your expertise makes a significant difference in negotiating contracts and other matters. For example, your ability to speak Chinese can help a Latin American client navigate the complexities of entering the Chinese market, ensuring clear and accurate discussions with local partners. A regular interpreter without legal knowledge might just translate exactly what the other side says, without capturing the nuances and legal implications. Counterfeit goods are a significant issue for some Latin American clients doing business in China. How have you helped them protect their intellectual property and combat these challenges?
I think it's important to, as I say, to sign a contract. And also, for example, in the case that you want to produce a thing in China, like for example, if you want to produce makeup, or to give you an example, you want to produce an idea in China, I think this contract of no disclosure, this contract has to be signed, the contract of DNA. So, like, to people know that this is your product. And also, I think this is the most important part, because then the fabric will know that this is your product and you are the owner of this, and make them, before sending all your ideas and all the things, sign the contract. I think this is the most important, and how I've been helping Latin America companies is by telling them this legal advice, because already happens that they will say, "Oh, I will send this to a fabric, and they can produce for me, example, makeup, or I want to do this," and then maybe they send all the information and know how, and maybe they cannot uh, suit the other, because they don't have a contract that it says, "Oh, this was my idea." The fabric can produce, and they will steal this idea from Ecuador or from Latin America. So I think it's very important to sign a contract, and not just when you are creating a product, also when you are buying things in China, anything that you are buying. There, for example, are a client that she wanted to do makeup, and she sent all the things. She is engineer, a chemistry engineer in Ecuador, and she sent all the formula and all the things that she wanted to produce to the fabric, and the fabric then just get the know-how and all this formula and create a formula, and they didn't reply anymore, and they were producing for other person. And of course this girl was saying, "But it is my idea," but she didn't have anything to say, "Okay, this is my idea." Of course she has the messages, but that doesn't mean nothing. So
wow, wow, that's crazy.
I think it's very important for everyone to sign a contract, and also to have someone that do this due diligence and do the inspection and know if this fabric is correct, is good. Because example, one client come example to China to buy cars, and then he sent just the money, and then the cars didn't arrive, 3 months don't arrive, 4 months doesn't arrive. What is happening? The company was bankrupted in China. But if but what happened is that these people, they don't have like check. They just thinking, "Oh, the price is amazing, we are going to become rich with this company," but they didn't check really,
Hmm.
if the company exists, if the company is okay, and then I think what happened with most of the people is that they come to a lawyer when they already have the problem. So what I have been
When
trying to
some
teach
of them
it,
come to you guys.
it's sad, because I think we are, of course, lawyers have to solve problems, but I think the most important thing is to help to not have it, like to give these legal tips to avoid the legal problem instead of coming when you already have the problem.
You're absolutely right, Carolina. Many entrepreneurs only consult lawyers after they've encountered problems, often neglecting due diligence at the beginning. Having an international lawyer's guidance from the start is crucial. The fees for a lawyer or consultant are minimal compared to the potential costs and complications of dealing with foreign laws and policies after issues arise. Investing in expert legal advice early on can save significant expenses and challenges down the line, especially when dealing with international contracts and regulations.
Yeah, of course. And is maybe the amount of money that you are going to save is huge instead of
Mhm.
losing with a small amount of what the contract will cost is nothing compared of what it can save.
As someone who is deeply immersed in the Chinese business environment through your doctoral studies and legal consulting work, what key trends or shifts have you observed in China's approach to foreign investment and cross-border collaborations? How are these changes impacting opportunities for Latin American companies?
Yeah, I think I have been working for foreign investment law. It's my research perspective, and how foreign business come to China, how foreign business have to deal with all these laws and regulations as well, and how these laws have been changing in China to adapt and bring more foreign companies to invest in China. And for example, many companies come as joint ventures, and sometimes they will be worried about the law. But also in China, Chinese system have been improving a lot, and they have these catalog for foreign companies coming into China, so they will target in prohibited, permitted industries. So I think of course China is a big market, and to know how to deal with all these laws and which contract or agreement will be the best is very important as a foreign company. And since I have been studying, and I actually wrote a book about how to deal with the national security review in China, comparative analysis between
Mhm.
Germany and China, because German companies are one of the like biggest market in China. We have Volkswagen, we have Siemens, we have BMW. So I analyze from the national security review how both countries can collaborate between each other, but and how foreign companies have to navigate this foreign investment law in China, that they actually they have a new foreign investment law in 2020, and they have been creating provisions and new regulations. They have the contract law as well. So I think it's very important for a foreign company when they are dealing with Chinese market to have someone that can guide and, and about the provisions and regulations, and tell you what are the new things and new challenges foreign companies are going to face in China, and how to navigate these regulations.
Another area of your work that I find fascinating is your involvement with the Umalliq Foundation, an NGO in Ecuador that supports women entrepreneurs. Can you tell us more about the work you're doing to empower these women and how they are creating sustainable, impactful businesses?
My NGO is called Umalliq, and Umalliq in Quechua, because in Ecuador we speak Spanish, but we also speak Quechua. but of
Teacher.
course the Quichua, the indigenous communities. I speak just Spanish, but my NGO is called Umalliq, and it means leader in this language in Quichua.
Oh, okay.
And I think is what I wanted to create is like actually it's my dream to share what I have learned with other women because I have been writing in different newspapers like journals in Ecuador where you can get them on the street very easy going to the bus or everywhere because I always think maybe a woman will be so worried to go to a lawyer, or maybe they will be thinking, oh, a lawyer will be so expensive. Don't want to pay
Mm.
them. So I really try hard to approach first to them because since I study law, I think law should be, a lawyer should be a path to access to the justice. We should be the way that people can understand the law. And I don't think a lawyer should be someone that should be scary or going to the law. Lawyer should be something bad. I think going
Mhm.
or visit or talking to a lawyer should be something that makes you feel like happy and someone that bring you a solution of your problem. So I have been
That's
writing
definitely right.
articles about how to create your business, where to find like the money to get your to grow your business, how to register your company. If you are entrepreneur, maybe you can, if your job is total manual using your hands, you can have some tax reductions. So I try to
Mm.
approach community. My approach was more for girls. So I have been talking, of course, if your work is, example, if you are doing hairdresser, you can have less taxes in Ecuador. But normally lawyers know this. But I think these people from the hairdresser or the people who are doing jeans, blue jeans, they won't go to a lawyer to ask the lawyer, oh, I want to pay less taxes, or do you know any contract? I have a labor contract. They won't I tell you, oh, I have this idea, I want to register my idea and be the owner of this idea for 10 years. They won't come to you, but I start writing these ideas on how to access to the justice and how to register your company. And in case you have um, this type of company, you can also can have this type of contracts, labor contracts. So kind of play also with the law in a way that is good for you. Because in Ecuador nowadays we have a new law that helps a lot entrepreneurs with taxes and like have some also legal benefits as well. But since the in the culture is very hard and very bad to go to a lawyer because if you go to a lawyer means that you already have a problem. But I have been writing this and I want to create more leaders, more women leaders having their own and independency economy. So I have been working on these articles and writing in different laws. I've also presented them in Spain, in Peru, but I wanted this to help people. But I think if I help them, I want them also to help someone else. So my NGO basically will give you for a small amount of money this legal consultancy, and you can ask many questions. And also we don't charge a lot of money to register your company, to register your brand, because we want more women to have their own business, but they have to be with a focus on you know, Agenda 2030. In Agenda 2030, like maybe
Mm.
you work for gender equality. Your company have to work for climate change, or like you can choose any path, but it must have to solve and help to Agenda 2030, which means to create a better world.
Like the
So basically,
like the UN Sustainability Development Goals.
yes, all these goals you have, your company have to find one, or of course, it can be like if it's more than one is okay as well, but the like you have to have at least one, so we help you to register your company and everything. And also we create the
Mm-hmm.
education course where we trying to have a culture of peace. So we teach you for 1 year how to become a mediator, and then you also can have your own clients and bring them to our NGO and solve the legal disputes in this um, foundation, and help them, like, because some things in Ecuador we don't have these judicial systems like in China, but I think mediation helps a lot in the judicial process, because it's more easy, and you can solve us better than in the court, like with a good agreement. So this is basically what the NGO does: create more leaders, and create leaders that actually help to solve issues, but also to create a better world.
That's definitely a great strategy, Carolina. I really admire what you're doing with your NGO. The approach of helping one person who then brings in another to help creates a wonderful chain of support. It's a beautiful and effective method, and I highly recommend it. Drawing from your experience empowering women entrepreneurs through the Umalliq Foundation, what specific advice would you give to aspiring women who are looking to start their own businesses, especially those interested in exploring international markets?
I will say that it's never late, and always you um, can do whatever you dream for. Like if you dream to have a company of even your small dream can become big. And actually, I think many of us have the power, and we just need someone to push us until it's possible, and we are together. Because I really think we women are able to do a lot of things, and we have been in this creating great ideas and great movements as well. But I really think that we just not have to let us down and continue, because of course the way won't be easy, but I think choose your dreams and fight for them. I think is pays off at the end of the day. I really think that for any entrepreneur will be hard, but even the idea is crazy. I think it can be done and can be real, like if you have the courage to do it.
You mentioned that the Umalliq Foundation helps women entrepreneurs align their business missions with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Can you elaborate on the importance of incorporating sustainability and social impact into entrepreneurial ventures and how you've seen this approach resonate with your clients?
I think this Agenda 2030, for example, in Ecuador, we signed it in 2015, but
Mm-hmm.
I really many people and many young who are the boys and who are the future doesn't even know what means SDG, what means Agenda 2030, what is gender equality, what is the objective 5, what is objective 1. So I really think uh, w- uh, as a young people and a young leader, I have been choosing this path to teach what is Agenda 2030, sharing these movements, doing research about that, not just in gender equality, in climate change, in education. So I really think like as you involve this social part and this help for helping, uh, I think it's very important for individuals itself, but also for the society because it
Mhm.
contributes in a better way. And I think the state is already having a lot of big big things. And I think we as young leaders and also from the private sectors, for enterprise, we are the ones who have to do this change, who have to work for SDGs, who have to do a social impact and create a social impact.
As someone who is simultaneously pursuing a PhD, running a legal consultancy, and leading an NGO, how do you manage to balance your academic and entrepreneurial pursuits? What lessons have you learned about maintaining focus and drive while juggling multiple responsibilities?
What I have been doing, maybe is doing a bit of exercise in the morning. To be honest, it's hard
Mhm.
because
It's hard,
um,
yeah.
what actually helps is the times different, I will say, because I live now in China, but in Ecuador will be 14 hours, example, less. So in
Mhm.
the morning, I do I grade my PhD and all the things here. But also at night, I will do the meetings with Ecuador. I will like in Latin America. So I think that helps a bit. But to be honest, I think what drives me the most is passion to do this, passion to help more women to believe in their dreams. And also I think I really, what moves me a lot is passion to write, passion to communicate, passion to create impact, I will say.
Drawing from your extensive experience working with entrepreneurs in both Latin America and Asia, what advice would you give to someone who is interested in exploring business opportunities across these two continents? What mindset and strategies do they need to cultivate to succeed in these cross continental ventures?
I think first I will say to know and understand like what they want first, like as a company. Then I think for entrepreneurs, I think it's important to really search a lot of what they want, where they want to invest, and if it's worth it. Like research about the company, research also about the market and the things that they want to bring to Latin America in the sense of business as well. And I will say to all of them that even we are very far apart countries and with a very language difference, time difference, and business culture differences, I think what we can get is like building bridges between China and Latin America is very important, because I think we should always see this opportunity about business. And I think we just have to be persistent, but as well as you have to be persistent for your business, I think information, knowledge, and I will say this due diligence as well is very important, since you are dealing with something so different from your country and your business culture and legal perspective as well. Like a lawyer in Ecuador or Colombia or Peru in Latin America won't be able to help you if you don't help yourself doing this due diligence, doing this reading if this fabric is the correct one and if the business will be worth it or not.
Let's wrap up with some unique questions. If you could gift a single book to every entrepreneur in the world, which one would it be and why? What are one or two books that profoundly shaped your entrepreneurial journey and mindset?
I really love different books. I read a lot, but I like the Club of 5 a.m. in the morning, and also Atomic Habits. I think it's very important to create these habits to work for your dreams, wake up early, and write in your agenda what you are going to do the day. I think it's very important to create these habits. They give you some tips as well, like, okay, wake up in the morning and brush your teeth. And at the very beginning, maybe you will say, oh, maybe this is very weird. But then I see myself working 4:50 in the morning, and I was ready to really work for it. So I think creating these habits as well, and sleep and treat yourself well, like this self-care, self-love is very important to have a great
Yeah.
success. So I really recommend these books.
Can you recall a moment when a failure, either yours or your parents, unexpectedly set the stage for future success? What is the story behind your favorite failure and how did it become pivotal in your career?
I think it was the first time I came to China. I was so scared. I was lost. I didn't understand the language. I was so scared. I was crying, and I just called my father and I say, I cannot understand them. They cannot understand me. I don't know what I'm doing here. And my father say to me, you are the only one who goes to China to speak in English. And I say to him, please send me a ticket airplane, because of course Latin America is very far from China. And he sent me $10, $10, which is nothing to buy a ticket. And he tell me, got good with Chinese lesson. And I was like, this is crazy. And I just cry more when I was desesperated. But I think it makes me a star, of course. Nowadays is a lot of years, like 4 years ago, since I started learning this language. And I really think to learn Chinese is a life changer. Like to understand the culture and understand everything change when you understand also the language. So I think to
Yeah.
the big drama in my life, like desperation and don't know what to do, don't know where I am, it turns to be something that I'm really proud of, and I really, of course, work hard for, but I think it is worth it at the end of the day.
Reflecting on the past 5 years, what new belief or habit have you adopted that has significantly transformed your life and work? How has this change impacted your day to day actions and long term goals?
I think working every day 4:50 and walking for an hour and writing what in a journal what will be my three things I will do every day, just three things I will learn every day. I think it has been something good in my life and changed a lot my mood and what I want. So I always write in the morning, and then maybe at the end of the day we'll review it. But I think having this agenda and doing 1 hour exercise is a life changer.
Imagine you have the chance to put up a billboard in Times Square with a message for millions. What would your message be, and what do you hope people take away from it?
A message will be maybe, I think the message will be chasing dreams, never give up. I think that will be like my my big message, and I will say the
That
sky
will be
is
your
the limit.
message.
Yeah, for sure. Because I really think that I have been working hard, and I think sometimes people need to hear these words because you don't know where these people are in their own paths, because all of us have our own history. And so if someone else tell us, oh, you continue, never give up, I think it's very important, and then you will still fighting for it.
Sometimes the smallest investments make the biggest impact. What purchase of $100 or less in the last 6 months has had a surprisingly positive effect on your life, and why?
A purchase. I think I have been helping. In There is a NGO in Cambodia that works for women, so I
Mm-hmm.
have been investing in this NGO for Cambodia, because first we make a campaign which is running for them, and then people can donate money. But I think it was very
Okay.
hard. Latin America, we don't trust if we have to give our credit card, but I have been doing by my own. So I was the same who is running and creating this giving this back also, there is a lot of campaigns interesting for these small girls in Cambodia actually. For example, the one is get back to go get back to go, that one. Like, instead of buying a coffee, you can save this money and send to these girls. So I think these
Oh.
small investments are very impactful, and any people can donate to them. And of course, like, if you run 5 kilometers, you can tell people, okay, you can donate for me $10 or any amount of money, but this money goes for the kids.
What unusual habit or specific thing do you love? And how does it fit into your daily routine?
I think I love to talk with my father. I
Mm,
really think that's like my life coach. He All the
mm,
days I talk with him, and he's my life coach. And I think he's best psychologist, best teacher, best everything, and really encouraged me a lot to do this. So what I always do is, my father and mother, uh, they both are my bigger cheerleaders in my life.
mm,
So I think
definitely.
my habit is to talk to them like even 10 minutes each. But I think it's very important to connect, to speak my language, to feel okay and continue, since the time difference as well. So I think this has been my big habit.
What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've made, be it in time, money, or energy?
I think I will say time to write these articles and to write about what I got passionate about, but to have more and more women asking me, okay, what I should do, how I can reduce this, if I am working with my hands 80%, what I can do. So to have this community and to help them with my time, because writing articles is time. I think this is worth it. I think this, and also to create this NGO and learn first how to create a project and have this impact. I think this is the biggest investment I have been.
For a passionate young entrepreneur fresh out of college, ready to dive into the real world, what unconventional advice would you offer to help them stand out? What common myths about entrepreneurship should they ignore?
I will say, like, to help them do a small workshops or small talks, Actually, 3 years ago, I started doing one-to-one sessions where I really listen to them. I am not psychologist, of course, but I really think that sharing and having this time one-on-one session where you have the chance to talk and tell like where are you, and have this like accountability partner. I think is the most important thing for entrepreneurs to have this someone that you tell your idea, and then have this process and accountability partner in one-on-one sessions is very important.
What bad recommendations do you hear in your area of expertise that entrepreneurs should be wary of?
As I say, I think it's important to have the contracts. Don't think lawyers are expensive, and try to avoid the law because maybe the fine will be higher than you think that is a lawyer cost. So I really think like never try to avoid the law, or avoid the regulations and say, oh, won't happen to me. I really think it's important to know this and learn by the others' mistakes. And I think entrepreneurs try all the time to do everything. Okay, I can get a contract online, I can do the contract with the AI, and also they want to be they want to be the accountant of the company, the marketing person.
Yeah.
They try to be 10 people in one, but I really think it's important to have this uh, to know that some things you cannot do it all alone, and you always need
Definitely.
this someone else like with expertise and the knowledge to tell you, okay, let's do this, and then you learn like which is you will learn in the way as well, what is good for your company, what is bad for your company, which is the best product, which is not good. So I think, of course, it depends also in the company, no?
In the last 5 years, what have you become better at saying no to? And how has that improved your work life balance?
I think saying no is very hard for me. Actually, I have a coaching to learn how to say no. For me, it's very hard to say no. Yeah, sometimes I wanted to say no, and then I say yes. But I think learn how to say no. I learned it in like sometimes I really have I regret to say yes, but to know your value, to know what you have to stand for, and then I think it's important because then you can say no. It happens for me at the very beginning. Someone will tell me, "Oh, please give me discount," and first I will say, "Yes, maybe this person will need my help," but then I noticed they like it was not worth it. This, so I learned my value, and to say no is very important. To say no
Definitely. You're 100% right.
to your boss, to say no to a client, to say no to even some products is very important.
When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what strategies or practices do you use to regain clarity and drive?
I think I learned how to breathe. I close my eyes and breathe. I think this is the strategy I learned, and to calm myself down because sometimes I feel like, oh my God, the world is coming down like this. But to breathe, I think it's very important to calm down.
Carolina, as an entrepreneur, maintaining personal health and fitness can be as crucial as managing a business. How do you integrate fitness and well being into your busy schedule? And what impact does it have on your effectiveness as a leader?
I think I have been using this 1 hour running, and using like a clock, a watch that say, okay, I have been running these 5 kilometers, and having my watch that also tell me, okay, now you have to sleep, it's time to sleep. I think it helps a lot, because then you learn how to manage also your time and to schedule yourself, and maybe also to be prepared for everything. Like, if you know you have to wake up by 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., then you have to have ready your clothes. Also, I think it's important to have ready everything settled, like even your food. And then with the schedule, then you can do the, like, manage to do all the things that you want to do, and have the time for all the important things that you need to do. And exercise is very important, because then your mind will be fresh when you start to work. So I think moving is one important thing. Doesn't matter what you do. You can, if you like yoga, is you can do yoga. If you like meditation, is okay as well. Walk as well. Before I was going to CrossFit, but I think just 1 hour exercise, meditation, and write what you want to do in that day is very important.
Thank you, Carolina, for sharing your invaluable insights and experiences. Your work is truly inspiring, and I'm sure our listeners have gained a wealth of knowledge today. For those interested in connecting with Carolina, you can schedule a meeting through the link provided in the show notes.
Thank you, thank you, and also thank you for having me here, and thank you for creating this space where more people can create impact and tell their own histories. Because I think all over the world we have a lot of people creating amazing things and amazing projects, but having this space to let them speak out and tell and spread the world their own messages is very important. So, but to have this space, to create this space, is very important. Like, to unbox these messages, unbox these all entrepreneurs. Thank you so much.
To our audience, thank you for tuning in to Entrepreneurship Unboxed. Stay connected with us on social media, and don't forget to subscribe for more episodes featuring extraordinary entrepreneurs and leaders. Until next time, keep pushing forward and unbox your true potential.